Hey everybody, my name is Asia and welcome back to my channel. Today we're starting a reading vlog where dice control my reading for a week. I'm so excited to be doing this reading vlog. It is inspired by the Readathon I'm participating in and co-hosting all month long, which is called Realmathon. And this will probably be posted pretty close to the end of the month, but you can still join a team and backlog all the books that you've read for the month, because this is a competitive team-based readathon, but it is so easy to mood read. Because what I do personally is I read whatever book I want, and then there is 2 different lists that you can choose from for prompts. You can only do 1 different list per book, so all the prompts that you pick either have to be to sabotage or to gain XP, and you could choose between 1 and 5 prompts. Obviously, I try to choose as many prompts as possible, so up to 5. And then there's also 3 bonus challenges that we can complete on top of those 5 to get extra points for our team. And I'm hosting Team Paladins with my friend Mel, who of course will be also linked down below. And of course, go Paladins. And so our 2 extra prompts are to read a book by an author that you've read from before. And then there's an overall readathon prompt created by Cassidy that is for obviously the entire readathon, all teams, which is just read a book that has a competition or trials in it. And all 3 of those prompts will give you 10 extra points. And then you can get points one more additional way, which is from page length. So books under 200 pages don't get any extra page length, and then it goes up in increments by 20. So books between 200 and 400 pages give you an extra 20 points. And the page count bonuses always go towards your team. So even if you chose from the list to sabotage another team's XP for your prompts, your page count will still add bonus points to your team as well. And so this year's theme is called the Crucible, which is kind of like D&D and video game based. And literally the symbol for this year is dice. My camera does not want to focus, but this is kind of the little symbol for this year, so you guys can see it is dice. This is one of the official bookmarks for the year as well that Cassidy sells on her Etsy. And for the next 5 days, these 2 dice are going to be controlling my reading. I like to mood read, and I'm very much in a mood reading mood, so I'm going to pick all the books that I'm going to be reading, but this will be controlling my reading in another way. So I have 1 regular dice, a D6, and this is going to control how many pages I read per day. So if I roll a 1, I have to read 100 pages. If I roll a 6, I have to read 600 pages. So I could be reading up to 600 pages a day, which would be kind of crazy because I just did that 24-hour, 48-hour readathon, but that's okay. And then this D12, you guys might have noticed, there is some little papers on these books behind me. So these books are random. I just chose some books that I was unhauling to help display the papers, but each one of these obviously has a number on it, and on the back of them there is kind of a challenge to complete. So some of them are reading based, like no audiobooks that day, or I have to read while standing for 1 reading session, or I have to read outside, things like that. But some of them are not as reading based, just kind of book based, like I have to crochet something that relates to my current read, or even dressing to match the cover of the book, things like that. And so there's 12 challenges, and I will be rolling for one every single day. So I really wanted to start this earlier in the morning so I could, get a head start and know which challenge I have to complete for the day and my pages for the day. But unfortunately, I had somewhere to be this morning and I did not wake up early enough to do this in time. So it's a little bit late in the day, but I have nothing really else planned for the day besides I have therapy, which is here remotely. And so that's in a little bit of time. But then after that, I'm completely free. So we're going to roll for my reading day today to see how many pages I have to read and also what challenge I have to complete. I'm going to be rolling down here, so I have my phone set up so y'all can see the dice view. So let's roll for how many pages I need to read today. I got a 2, so that means that I only need to read for 200 pages today. Now let's roll for my challenge for today. I rolled a 4. Okay, so book 4 is right here, and here is the challenge. Y'all can see it's number 4, so I'm not lying. I don't know if it'll focus, but it says to read standing up or moving for at least 1 reading session. So I originally had this as like read standing, but I will probably read on my walking pad instead, which I feel like is arguably harder. So that is my challenge for today, and I only have to read 200 pages. And I actually already read for a little bit today because I listened to an audiobook while I was driving to and from where I had to be this morning. So I already read about 55 pages today. Sorry, it was 62 pages I read so far today, and I am reading The Measure by Nikki Ehrlich. I might switch to a different book. This is one that I was like, okay, this will be good on audio, because honestly lately I've been very picky about which books I read exclusively on audio. I feel like romances are good, thrillers can be good, but sometimes I'm like, I don't really want to read this on audio. So I've been really itching to read Jawbone by Monica Ojeda, and I really don't want to do that one exclusively on audio. If anything, I would immersion read it, because I do have access to the audiobook, I think, on Hoopla. This book is so interesting so far. I've been really wanting to pick it up. It's a thriller book that's basically about one day everybody on Earth gets a box with a blue string in it, and this blue string is different lengths for everybody, and the length of the string basically indicates how much life you have. I think it's not how much you have left to live, but like your total whole lifespan. And they've done tests and things to figure out like how much time things actually mean, and they could give like estimates. And this has become a big part of society. Everybody's talking about it. Some people are having like conspiracy theories, like the government sent it to us, they're listening to us. But it's also kind of weird because they don't know who sent these, and the fibers are unlike anything that we've seen before, and it's not cuttable. And so we're just following a couple of different people in this circumstance and how this is impacting their lives individually. I'm not too far into it, but I am enjoying it so far. But as I said, I might switch to Jawbone by Monaco Ejeda, but I will read on my walking pad later today after therapy to get that reading challenge done. And as I said, I've already read 62 pages, so I only have to read like 140 more pages today, which is a really excellent considering I'm starting this so late in the day. But I'm really excited to continue on with this one and Jawbone. I'm really excited for this reading vlog because I think it's just kind of a unique concept for me. I do kind of more like basic reading vlog concepts, so this one was kind of like a fun one to plan out, even though it's not too complicated or anything like that. And I'm excited to see how the week goes and if the dice roll in my favor.
I used to take myself out on dates, open my own damn doors, pay for everything on my plate. Sometimes I'd even get the steak, cause I got it like that. Always had my own bag, never needed no man to rely on. Got two good shoulders to cry on. I was alright on my own till I fell, but it wasn't fate. And I couldn't tell at the time, but I was my own soulmate. It's like I forgot I was fine, let you treat me any kind of way. Now I'm free, you gotta celebrate. You couldn't see everything and stay. That I wasn't afraid to say, yeah. If I gotta choose me, I won't be afraid to. If I gotta choose me, I gotta do what I gotta do. When I love you, I lose me. Now I can't be attached to you no more. I like me better when I wasn't yours. I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going back to who I was before. I like me better, I like me better, I like me better, yeah, yeah. I like me better, I like me better when I wasn't yours. I like me better, I like me better, yeah, 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 yeah.
Good morning, everybody. It is now day 2 of this challenge, and I realized I forgot to mention another kind of stipulation of this reading vlog to y'all yesterday, and that's that I'm going to have lives. I don't know which side I'm going to put it on yet, but basically I'm going to have 3 lives like a traditional kind of video game. And I thought, you know, 3 lives in 5 days is really easy to me. Like, I feel like that's easy to complete, which maybe I talked a little bit too soon, to be honest. We'll talk about that in a second. But I decided to make it a little bit more difficult, is that the challenge is going to count for 1 life, and the reading goal is also going to count for 1 life, or the page goal. So that means that if I do not complete both of them in a day, like I fail both, that means I lose 2 lives in 1 day. So I really need to be on it and try to at least complete 1 a day so that I don't lose too many lives, because that would not be good. And I can actually gain back lives. I'm kind of allowing myself that because, you know, with 10 opportunities to lose lives and only 3 lives, that's kind of limited. So if I redouble my page count in a day, then I can gain back a bonus life, or even like I can gain more than 3 lives. Like, let's just say if I didn't lose any lives, but you know, if I redouble my page count, then I can gain a bonus life. And so yesterday I did complete my challenge. I read on my walking pad. I walked for about like a mile and a half, which sent me over to about 12,000 steps yesterday.
Challenge complete.
And I also read 50 pages of Jawbone while I was on the walking pad. So my bad news is that I only read about 62 pages of Jawbone yesterday, and I read 62 pages of this, which if you guys can do math, that's 124 pages. But honestly, I think I should not take away a life from myself because I have an excuse. But to be true to the game and true to the challenge, I will unfortunately lose a life. Okay, because I did have a migraine yesterday. As soon as I left therapy, which I told you, I was like, okay, like I'm about to have therapy, and then as soon as I get out of therapy, I had the rest of the day to read. Now, as soon as I got out of therapy, I had an instant migraine, which I actually did not know. If you also suffer with migraines, I didn't know this could be a trigger, but if you have therapy or a heavy emotional processing or stress kind of thing, especially emotional processing and therapy, it's been studied that you'll be okay throughout it, and then as soon as it ends, right after, that stress will like leave your body and it can cause a migraine, and I had no idea. And so I think there were some other factors that contributed to it as well. I think it was like a little storm of compounding factors that caused me to have a migraine, which I thought was like low blood sugar. That's what I thought, because I didn't eat much yesterday before then, because I have ADHD and I take Adderall, so sometimes I don't really like remember to eat, and so I did eat a little bit but not much. So I was like, maybe I need to eat. I ate, I drank water, I took medicine, all of the things, and it would not go away. And so it didn't go away. I still have some lingering little things, and I know I have like a little pimple here or something. I didn't hit my head. It's a pimple that just happens to be in the exact spot where my headache was. And so I do have some lingering effects, but I'm a lot better today. So hopefully I will complete both challenges today and lose 0 lives, because losing a life on the first day of a challenge is embarrassing. It's embarrassing, but it is what it is. Now for Jawbone, this book is really, really weird so far, which I knew was going to be weird, and I've been so anticipating this horror book because I've heard nothing but good things. We are following 2 main characters mostly, named Annalise and Fernanda, and they are like high school girls that go to this like school, and they have other friends, and they're doing these rituals that Annalise is leading them in to this kind of Dior scented rhinestone drag queen god of their own like kind of imagination. And Annalise and Fernanda apparently also have a secret that is rooted in a dare but also in violence. Their teacher, Miss Clara, also plays a role in this story, and we get a little bit of her perspective. And she's a new teacher to this school, and I think from what I know, she was literally kidnapped by students at her last school, or had some sort of altercation with these students at her last school. But kind of the interesting twist is that at the beginning of this book, we open up with Fernanda being kidnapped by Miss Clara. And she's also estranged from Annalise while she's kidnapped. We know that from the beginning, from the very first chapter, that she's kidnapped by their teacher and she's estranged from Annalise. And so I'm really interested to see how the rest of this story is going to progress to the point that we saw at the beginning. And the writing in this is very interesting. I was just talking about it in my last vlog that I'm really trash about describing writing style. Like, I could tell you all day about character development, I could tell you about plot, I could tell you about any of that. But me, like, I could just be like, the writing was good, the writing was bad, I liked it, I didn't like it. That's all that I have. Like, trying to actually describe it is one of the most difficult things for me when it comes to book reviews. But I will say the writing in this is very weird. It's also very descriptive, which I do like, especially in a horror book. Like, if there's something so unsettling about these mundane things being described in kind of these grotesque ways, and it's very interesting. It's not like in the way that you would probably think either. It's like weird kind of descriptions. I don't know, it's interesting. And Miss Clara also, she's very interesting to me because she's obsessed with imitating her dead mother, like to a degree. Like, has chosen the same profession as her, dresses like her, wears the same scent as her, like literally is copying and imitating her dead mother to a T. And I think it's starting to like play with her sanity a little bit, which maybe plays a role in why she ends up kidnapping Fernanda. I don't know, but I'm enjoying this one so far. But yeah, womp womp, I did not complete my page count for yesterday, but I did at least complete my challenge. So yeah, I'm sorry to say, guys, I already did lose 1 life, but that's okay. So we're gonna see if I can actually survive, because if I lose all 3 lives, guys, I lost the challenge. That's it. We're just trying to see if I can survive dice controlling my reading for a week. Now it is actually not even morning time anymore. It's a good morning, I think, but it's a little bit in the afternoon. So I want to get my page count for today and my challenge, because I want to try to knock out my challenges earlier in the day if possible, depending on what they are, because they can really, really vary in what they are. And also, I do have reading sprints later tonight, actually, for Realmathon, so I should be able to get some good reading in then. And then I also have reading sprints with my YouTube members tomorrow as well, but I kind of need to edit a video, so we'll see how much reading I actually do on those sprints, because I normally treat them as like productivity / reading sprints. But let me get our dice for the day. I'm not going to pull over the table and put my phone on a tripod, so my phone might be a little bit shaky, but that is okay. Okay, guys, it's okay. So we need to get our dice. I'm going to, you know, yesterday I rolled for the page count first, so maybe today I should roll for the challenge first. So let me do a little bit of shaky, put a little good luck in there. Gio, do you have any good luck for the dice? He said absolutely not. He barely opened his eyes. So let's do a little shaky and roll. Okay, we got, I think that's, I can't tell if it's 6 or if it's 9. I think it's 6. Let me try and find the 9 or the other one to see. Okay, yeah, that one looks like a 9 to me, and this one looks like a 6. I think that's what that little dot is there for too, like to show that that's the bottom. So I'm gonna get challenge 6 and see what it is. Here she is, challenge 6. Let's see what it is. It says, I don't know, I'll show y'all first. I don't even know if it's focusing. I don't know why my camera is so terrible with focusing sometimes. I think it's focusing. It says to read outside for one reading session. That's actually great because it's like 70 degrees today. We just had like we have fake springs here in North Carolina, and we kind of had one. It was like super warm, like hitting 80 degrees I think last week, and then it got cold this week, and now it's warming up this weekend. So I forgot to say as well, I know I said that this challenge is happening, like dice controlling my reading for a week, and we are doing it for a week long time, but I actually started yesterday on Thursday. Today's Friday, so it is the weekend. That's why I'm doing all these reading sprints as well. It is my last weekend of spring break, so I'm really sad, but at least I get to read outside, which hopefully the wasp won't try to attack me, because that is usually what makes me go back inside. Now let's roll for the page count. I'm a little bit nervous, but we'll see. I'm putting some good luck in there. Oh, I literally did not get it in the box. Let's roll again. 1. Only 100 pages today. That should be very easy with my sprint. So I should definitely be able to complete both challenges today. So I only have to read 100 pages, and then I just have to read one session outside. So that is pretty easy for today. I'm not mad about it at all, because I do have some TV I want to catch up on. So at least I get to do that. And honestly, I'm kind of itching to complete a book today. I don't know which one I'm going to complete. This one's more my audio book, and this one's more my physical book. So whichever one I decide that I kind of want to focus on today, because I also have some like little crafty things I've been wanting to do all week for spring break, and I haven't at the time. Not even crafts. Like it's like a fake Lego set, because Lego doesn't have like everything, you know? So sometimes I get a little fake Lego set it's a Bob's Burgers one. Like they don't have Bob's Burgers Legos officially. So it's like a little fake one. And then also there's this puzzle that I've been wanting to work on. So I might listen to an audiobook while I do that. But as I said, I have reading sprints tonight, so I should definitely hit 100 pages today. But I also need to at least read outside for one session. So as I said, like with the one session outside and the reading sprints, I might be able to finish the book today and up my page count even more. I'm actually really excited, because I think that I will definitely read over my page count today, and so I think that I will be able to gain back the life that I lost yesterday, which will definitely put me in a much better position, because I still have 8 chances to lose a life and only 2 lives left. So I think today would be a great day to try and gain back a life, so in that way I'm ahead of the game. I'm honestly really hungry, and I think my low blood sugar was definitely part of why I got a migraine yesterday, so I need to go eat before I get another one, and that jeopardizes me gaining back my life today. So let me go do that, and then I'll do my outside reading session while it's still nice and bright outside.
Losing speed for myself just to make sure you're happy, baby. Can't even pick up your phone, blaming it on bad habits. Crazy. And you got away with too many damn mistakes. I won't take that lying on the ground, 'cause you can't show up for one damn thing. Why would I wanna keep you around? You're selfish, always wanting more, can't help it. You think you got like pure, who'll tell him that his lines are borrowed? No, you're careless, a little immature, you get jealous when you close the door, go on relish in your own damn storm. Oh no, 'cause it's gonna be a no from me, a no from me, respectfully. You're selfish, always wanting more, can't help it. You think you got like pure, who'll tell him he's just delusional. Oh no, showing up every time just to support your passions, baby. You never bothered with mine. Lies are stupid like traffic, lazy. And you got away with too many damn mistakes. I won't take that lying on the ground, 'cause you can't show up for one damn thing. Why would I wanna keep you around? You're selfish, always wanting more, can't help it. You think you got like pure, who'll tell him that his lines are borrowed? No, you're careless, a little immature, you get jealous when you close the door, go on relish in your own damn storm. Oh no, 'cause it's gonna be a no from me, a no from me, respectfully. You're selfish, always wanting more, can't help it. You think you got like pure, who'll tell him he's just delusional. Oh no,
It's a little bit after midnight, and earlier in the day, I did my outdoor reading session. I think I read like 30 pages outside of Jawbone by Monica Ojeda.
Challenge complete.
And then I hopped on reading sprints. Lexi and Mel ended up joining me. I forgot to get any footage of that, but I did read more of Jawbone during the first sprint. For the first sprint, I literally just read Jawbone while I walked on my walking pad. And so I know I did that as a challenge yesterday, but I kind of liked it, so I wanted to do it again today to get in my steps. I'm on page, I think, 132 now of Jawbone, which means I read 70 pages of this one today. And then I switched to the measure while I was on sprints because I wanted to do something tactile. I'm working on this. It's a fake Lego brand. I forget what it's called. Let me see. The brand is called Buildiful, and if you guys don't know, Bob's Burgers is my favorite show. It's my comfort show. I've been watching it for about a decade, almost every single day for the past decade. I've seen most episodes at least 3, 4, 5 times, and so I love it. And I got this for Christmas, and it's actually super cute so far. You guys can see, like, here's the inside of the first floor, and this actually even opens right here, so you can see the kitchen inside, which I think is so cool. And I just started work on the second floor, but this is what I was working on while I was listening to the measure, and I am on page 140 of this one. I'm in very similar places in both these books, but that means I read 78 pages of this. So far today I'm at 148 pages, so that means that I did complete both my challenge and my page count today, so I will not be losing a life.
Pages complete.
But I'm not throwing away my shot, okay? I'm Alexander motherfucking Hamilton, okay? Because I'm not throwing away my shot to have this low of a page count. We're not going to get this again. We're not going to get another 100. The fact that we started off with 200 and 100, that means the next 3 days are about to probably whoop my ass. So I need as many lives as I could possibly get. So I'm not throwing away my shot. I'm going to be reading another like 52 pages tonight, so then that way I can double my page goal for the day and get my bonus life. But I really want to lay down in bed, so that's why I wanted to update y'all. And so Jawbone is a very interesting book so far. It's told in a really interesting way. It's very like non-linear and fragmented, and it's told through different perspectives. We get mostly Fernanda and Annalise, I would say, and their teacher, Miss Clara, but we also get some other people. In this book, honestly, I'm just kind of confused on what's going on. Half the time I'm like, I don't really know what's happening. Lexi even said she DNF'd this book because she didn't know what was going on, but everybody that I know that has read this book, like finished it cover to cover, loves it. So I'm just waiting for like the second half to make everything come together. I feel like it hopefully will, and then I'll be like, oh my god, 5 stars. That's what I'm hoping. Just currently right now, I just don't really know what's going on, and I think it's because of the way that it's told, but I think that it is so poignant and interesting. Like, the writing is really good, and this is actually a translated work, so I think this was translated excellently. If I didn't know it was translated, I would not know at all, but this is such a kind of psychological horror book. Like, we are exploring the psychology of these people, and this talks a lot about mother-daughter relationships specifically, and we explore them through almost every single character. Like Fernanda, Annalise, and Miss Clara all have different relationships to their mother, but then also they kind of have like motherly, sisterly relationships with each other, and there's also kind of like this discussion around like adolescence a lot. And I think like the drag queen god that they have is supposed to kind of be like a blank slate of adolescence for them, because they're just projecting onto them. But then they even talk about like creepypastas and online culture, and their god was created around that and inspired by creepypastas, and they're talking about that, and that really just shows how internet culture does impact adolescents so much, and they're doing so much online that's like horrible, but it's honestly like the reality. Now, I did not go this far as a teenager for sure. Maybe I was probably reading creepypastas though, but the internet, teenagers have so much access to it sometimes, and I think like I had it the worst. Like, my generation, me and my friends, we had it the worst because I'm 23. I was born in 2002. So I remember a time before like real phones or anything. Like, I remember VHS tapes, I remember DVDs, of course, I remember flip phones, but my first phone was an iPhone. Okay, my first phone was an iPhone, and I probably got a phone earlier than a lot of my friends, but I think at the time a lot of our parents didn't know what the internet was capable of, because I got mine in 4th grade because I was going to a school a little bit further away. So I'm trying to think, how old was I in 4th grade? I think I turned 10, so that was 2012. Our parents didn't know anything about the internet in 2012. My mom was posting webcam YouTube videos. Like, it was a very different time on the internet, and so I think like when we were adolescents still, our parents just didn't really realize because we were just growing up. It was fresh for us, it was fresh for them. They didn't know. And so even I don't know how parents do it now. I don't know. I feel like maybe they probably have more restrictions on their kids for the most part, but I don't really know. The internet is just such a wild place, especially as an adolescent. It's insane. And so it talks so much about that, and like friendships and betrayal in those friendships, and even like adolescent versus adult, and that kind of dynamic I think is really interesting to explore, because Miss Clara was literally kidnapped by teenagers, but then now she ends up kidnapping a different teenager. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is such an interesting dynamic. So again, I'm waiting to see how we kind of get to the point at the beginning of this book where Fernanda is kidnapped, but this is just very interesting so far, but I really kind of don't know what's going on for real, but I'm along for the ride. I'm vibing. I'm here. Like, let's get into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's make it come together. I see it, Monaco Ojeda. I see what you're trying to do now. I just need you to bring it together for me. Bring it around town. Okay, that's what I need, Miss Monaco Ojeda. And then I'm really liking The Measure. It's not that I'm not liking Jawbone. I'm just kind of like, again, along for the ride. Like, I just don't really know what is happening. It feels like a fever dream. So I'm just kind of like vibing along. But this one I'm really liking. It kind of reminds me of one of my favorite horror books, which is called Suffer the Children by Craig DeLuey. It is not as talked about, I don't think, but in that one, basically we are following a lot of different characters as this kind of almost apocalypse happens, where all the children in the world die simultaneously, and we have to see the repercussions of how these people are dealing with that, because obviously there's grief and all of that involved, but also even the logistics of like dealing with that many bodies. Like, what are they gonna do in society without children? Like, it is like, what are teachers gonna do? Like, it's a very interesting thing to dissect. But then I don't know how long after it is. I read it quite a few years ago, but after a certain amount of time, like a month or something like that, all of the children then actually resurrect, and they might be hungry / thirsty. That one is very fun and very interesting. I really enjoyed that one a lot. And like, even when these children come back again, it's so interesting to dissect how all these different people are dealing with it, how society as a whole is dealing with it. And then again, I told you they have like this hunger / thirst, and how far parents are willing to go to satisfy their children, especially after like them losing them and then having them come back. Like, obviously that is so traumatizing to have a death of your child, especially if you have multiple kids, all your children dying at once. Like, imagine that. And so that one kind of reminds me of this one, just a little bit different, because these people still all wake up and have this big societal change that impacts everything, and we are following like so many different characters in a way that really reminds me of that story. So we are following so many characters in this one. Just kind of, we do have reoccurring ones that we get multiple perspectives of, but some of them we just like dropped in. Like, we literally just had a perspective of a guy who's like in the military, and it talking about that, but then is so interesting to see how strings and this like thing is being integrated into daily life. Like, they're even talking about like politicians should have to disclose how long their string is, because we don't want to elect people, or the, you know, American population should know who they're electing and how long they'll be able to be in office. People's ability to, you know, get loans or buy homes and do all that stuff is now affected by your string length, which I think is just so interesting. And again, because we have so many different characters, we're exploring it in so many different lenses and contexts, which I think is very fascinating. And I am really liking how this one is told. I'm hoping that we start to get like a twist or something, because I know this is supposed to be a thriller. I'm pretty sure. Let me double check. That's what I picked it up thinking that it was. Might just be like a speculative or sci-fi, but I'm pretty sure it's a thriller. Let me see. Ugh, I'm wrong. It's not a thriller. I don't know why this whole time I thought this was a thriller. It says like on genres on Goodreads, it says book club, fiction, audiobook, which those are like so general, but then it says sci-fi, fantasy, dystopian. So I guess it's not a thriller. So I don't know if I'm gonna love this one, because I don't know where I heard that. It just, this whole time I thought this book was a thriller, so I kind of just went in with those expectations. So I'm just interested to see that, because that's what I was gonna say, is like, I hope that we start getting a twist or something, because I'm enjoying kind of seeing it in these different contexts, but I kind of want something to like ramp up the storyline. But that's because I thought it was a thriller. Now I don't really know what to expect going forward. I just hope that we start to get, you know, a little bit more interest in the story, because it's been interesting, but we've just been following different people in different contexts. So I'm excited to see maybe something a little bit different and how this is going to evolve even more. I don't know why I thought this was a thriller. This whole time I thought this book was a thriller, but the concept is still so fascinating to me, and I really am liking the execution of it as well. I'm tired, so I want to get in bed. I'm probably going to continue with The Measure, and then I of course will see y'all in the morning to do our next dice rolls. Good morning, everybody. It is day 3 of this reading vlog. I will say that this weekend I did not film for 2 days because my charger for my batteries decided to not charge the batteries at all. So I could not turn my camera on to film. So I just put this vlog on a little hiatus and I got a new charger for the batteries. So now we're actually back at it. So it's actually been 2 days since I last talked to y'all. And I'm obviously not counting what I read over the weekend towards this vlog. I didn't even continue on the 2 books that we were reading, just so we know exactly for the page count what is happening. Also, if you guys see my bruise, it's literally from Gio, my dog, tripping me, and I fell and hit my arm. So that was really lovely too. That happened this weekend. I'm just so sad because like the point of this vlog was for it to be like back-to-back days, and then we kind of had a little like 2-day little blip in there because the charger literally just stopped working. And there is a way to like charge the batteries through the camera, but it was literally going so slow it didn't charge a single whole battery the entire weekend. So I was like, I'll just order a new one. And so I did continue reading The Measure in bed. So I just made it to the fall section. It's divided into seasons, which is page 192, which means that I read 135 pages of this on day 2 and 70 pages of Jawbone, which puts me at 205 pages. And so I read double my page count for the day because if you guys remember, it was 100 pages. So that means that I get a life back. So I'm back at 3 lives for the last 3 days of this reading vlog. But I've been really craving to read a historical romance. I don't know why. I've only read 2 ever. One of them I liked, which is The Duchess Deal, which I think I have. And I honestly need to unhaul The Highwayman because I looked at my rating and I literally gave it 2 stars. I barely remember it. I gave it 2 stars, except I said the smut makes it a 2.5, which smut doesn't even like bump up my rating anymore, to be honest. Like if it's bad, it'll definitely detract. But if it's good, like that doesn't really add anything additional to the book for me. So yeah, but the other one that I'm reading, I can't remember the title, but it's Another Tessa Dare, because I do own a couple over here. Like I own The Duke and I, but I'm nervous because that's going to be very different from Bridgerton. And the thing is, I'm looking to fill that Bridgerton hole. I think that's why I want a historical romance. Plus Bridgerton for me feels so springy and so light, and like historical romances in general for the most part feel like that to me. I know there's more like broody ones, which is what The Highwayman was, which is not why I liked it. I feel like it was just a bad execution of it, but I feel like a lot of them are very light and springy, so I have that one. I also have A Lady for a Duke, which I know is a little bit more emotional. I still really want to read that one, but I really want something light, fresh, springy. And then I have Elisa Kleypas, but I heard she's more like traditional, very like trope heavy, maybe not focused as much on the execution for historical romances. So I think I'm going to go with Another Tessa Dare since I liked The Duchess Deal by her. I can't remember what the title is called, so I'll tell y'all if I start reading it, of course. But we need to do our rolls for the day. I have a lot of to-dos, a lot on the docket today. Some of those I can listen to audiobooks, but a lot of it I cannot. So we're gonna see. Hopefully I don't get like 600 pages, because if I do, I fear I will cry because I will most likely lose a life, because there's just no way. I feel like the max that I'll be able to read today is maybe like 300 pages. So we'll hope for the best. I'm picking up my dice. So I'm just holding my phone while I record this again, but let's do the page count first since that's what I'm most nervous about. Okay, I got a 3. A 3 is really good, because as I said, the max I think I could read is 300. I think 300 is potentially doable, so I think I can do 3. Let's now roll for the challenge for today. We have 2. We have not done 2, so let me get it. Okay, so today's challenge is to crochet something inspired by my current read, but I'm currently reading multiple, so I have to pick one, and I don't know if I have time to this day, so we'll see if I can fit this in somewhere, like just a little trinket. I haven't crocheted in so long, so maybe I'll have time to fit this in after like class, which ends at 9:30, so that'll be really late, but we'll try to crochet like a little something today for it. So yes, I have to read 300 pages today, and I'm supposed to crochet something based off my current read. So I feel like I'm not really into Jawbone as much right now because I'm really confused with that book. So I feel like it either is going to probably be The Measure or the Tessa Dare. So I need to probably read a little bit today to see if there's anything that I want to. You know what? Technically, this is not crocheting, but in The Measure, right? in the measure they get a string. So what happens if I just crochet a blue string to look like, you know, a chain? That's technically inspired by this book, because it literally, all they get is like this blue string. So just a piece of blue string is not crochet. But if I crochet just like a chain, you know, stitch of blue, I think that would count. So, but there's really no point to that. So I have to think, because I want to crochet something that has a point. So I have to really think about it. It's really late now. It's basically the end of the day. No, it is the end of the day, not basically. I've been busy all day, and I literally only finished like half my to-do list. This week is going to be very busy, which is why I was trying to finish this vlog last week. But, you know, things didn't work out like that. So that's okay. So I have read quite a bit. I listened to the audiobook. I'm actually reading Romancing the Duke by Tessa Dare. That's what it's called, the historical romance. And I'm liking it, but I'm not loving it, because I feel like it's moving kind of fast. Like, I don't know if that's a bad thing, but like I feel like their relationship from the very beginning, like they had like the sexual tension. And so I'm like, oh, okay, especially for like a historical setting, I'm like, we talked about sex very quickly. I do like it. It is fun. Basically, we're following this woman, and she is penniless. Like, she doesn't really have anything to her name. She was left by her father. He died, and she's like orphaned basically on both accounts. She's grown now, but her father was a famous author, and he actually wrote books that had her in it, kind of. And so she is a little bit famous in a certain way, but she's never really even one to like been courted. Like, no suitor has ever really taken interest in her, so she feels kind of like ugly in a sense. But she gets a letter one day in the mail basically saying like, hey, this guy that your dad knew, he died, and he left a whole bunch of stuff to all of his like nieces. I don't think that she's a blood related to him, but he still considers her one of his nieces. And so the letter told her to meet him at like this castle estate, and she goes there, and there's like this brooding man that's there, and he does not want to like interact with her. He's trying to get her to go away, and the estate is kind of not in the best shape. Like, there's bats and rats and like barely beds put together, and she's like, where the heck is this guy who I'm supposed to be meeting? Because it's not him, because I'm supposed to get some sort of inheritance. She doesn't know what it is, and she's like, I want my inheritance. And he does not want her to stay there, but he's like, fine, you could stay here for one night and that's it. And he was like convinced that like she was gonna flee, but she didn't. And then the guy ends up coming the next day and tells her like, hey, this guy basically left you this estate. And the like brooding guy that's there, I forget everybody's name, the brooding guy that's there is like, no, this is my estate, this has been in my family for forever, I'm a duke, I own this estate, like I own this castle. But the other guy who like told her about the inheritance basically said that it was sold to the man who died a couple months prior. And so there's kind of like a discrepancy. They don't know like who actually owns it. Well, I think technically like she has the deed, like she owns it, but he will not leave, like he's refusing. And so they're kind of trying to make like a deal. And there's also kind of the plot twist that he is blind, which I didn't expect, and I really like that element a lot, because it's so nice to like just see a disability so blatantly on the page, especially in a historical romance. And I really do like our main character. She's very bookish, and I really like her a lot. She is kind of like shy and introverted, but also she doesn't take shit. Like, she's not letting this man step all over her, and he is like so attracted to her just from the jump, but he doesn't even know what she fully looks like. Like, at some points he can kind of see, but not like fully, but he's still so attracted to her, and they have such like an attraction to each other. And so I am liking it. It's kind of just like a fun romp. It's kind of nice to see this progression from like really not liking each other but having at least an attraction to each other, to kind of this begrudging friendship. It's not really a friendship, it's more of like a partnership in a way. And so I'm excited to see where it goes in the end, and like what they figure out about the estate, because I haven't really gotten there. I'm 60% of the way in, so I calculated it based off of the mass market paperback, because that's typically what historical romances are published as, is mass market paperbacks, and that's 370 pages. So I'm about 220 pages in, so I could definitely hit my 300 pages tonight. Now I can guarantee y'all I'm not crocheting something today. It's literally like 11 p.m. I got out of class and I still had work and stuff I had to do. And yeah, this week is going to be very busy because I'm back at school this week, and we have to lock in because we literally have like 6 assignments due in a month, when in the first 3 months we only had like 4. So it's kind of crazy how close together these ones are. And then also I would say like the last full week of the month, or maybe like week and a half of the month, is the busiest for me content wise, with like my membership and everything like that. So it's always just like so busy, like pumping pumping out content, and now I have school back again, and so I have a lot going on right now. So hopefully we don't roll for too high of a number tomorrow. The dice have been really nice. I've only gotten 100, 200, and 300. So I fear tomorrow we might get something higher. So I might switch back to the measure tomorrow because I'm probably going to either finish this tonight or early tomorrow. So we'll see. I need to go lay down because I'm tired and I'm ready to rest. I literally have been working since the time I woke up till now, except I paused to eat. That's literally it. So I'm ready to go take a little rest. Happy day 4. It is quite late in the day, so we need to do these rolls because I need to figure out how many pages I need to read for the day. But I have read actually a little bit today. So last night I did make it 81% of the way through, not me literally forgetting the book title every single time. It is called Romancing the Duke. So I read 81%, which is 300 pages when I calculated it based off the mass market paperback because it's 370 pages. So I got to my 300 pages yesterday.
Pages complete.
I did still lose a life because I did not do my challenge yesterday. I just did not have time. But I actually got some freelance work because I do a little bit of freelance graphic design still on the side, like because I have those skills. So I got a little bit of work to do that for today. And so I also have just like a lot going on this week with like school and content. I think I was telling y'all last night. So I decided to stay home and just kind of work on that stuff. And I've gotten some good progress done. And while I was doing my freelance work, I was able to finish up Romancing the Duke and finish off the last 19%, which was 70 pages. So I've already read 70 pages for today, and I'm debating between a 3.5 and a 4 star for Romancing the Duke. I really did like the plot. I really like the plot lines that we had related to obviously the main character being blind. That plays a big part in the book. Also this, I don't know if I told y'all like this book series. I think I might have told y'all that the main character, she's kind of famous because her dad wrote a book series that kind of involves her, and so that also has a big stake in the plot, as well as this kind of weird mess where she thought that she inherited the house but he didn't sell it, and so like weird shady stuff is going on, and that's also a very interesting part. So I did really enjoy it. I think I might give it a 4 star. I was leaning towards 3.5 because it wasn't the most like invested that I've ever been in a romance before. Like it takes a lot for me to really like be rooting for the characters, rooting for their romance, and I didn't necessarily have that in here as much, but I did like them together. I liked their relationship. I did think that it was just a little bit fast, but I really did enjoy like the actual plot of the story, and I feel like Tessa Dare has really what are they called, like approachable, I feel like Tessa Dare really has like approachable historical romances. Like they're super easy to read, like even with like accents on the audiobook, it was like super easy to comprehend. I've heard some more classic historical romances aren't as easy to read as Tessa Dare. So if you're looking to get a historical romance because you liked Bridgerton or whatever, I think Tessa Dare is a good place to start. So I've given the 2 books that I read by her, which is The Duchess Deal and Romancing the Duke now, both 4-ish stars. So I did have a good time with this one. It did kind of scratch that itch of, you know, I was craving that historical romance. I just wanted it. Like I wanted those Bridgerton vibes. I wouldn't say it's like Bridgerton vibes. Like I don't know. Like I need someone to make like a Bridgerton book. Like I love that it has like the family, and then we're following all the different characters across the families, and it's not just like central on these like characters, because this really only had our 2 main characters and a couple side characters who happen to be like staff. And so I wish that we did have more of like the ton and like the happenings going on in society. That's what I really do like about Bridgerton, is like what's happening as well as the family dynamics. So I'm looking for a book like that, but that's not Bridgerton, because I feel like the actual Bridgerton series, I feel like it's going to be too close to Bridgerton that I'm not going to like it. Like it's going to be too close but too different, where like it has the same characters but it's going to be so different that I don't think I'm going to love it. So I'm kind of looking for something like Bridgerton, but it's its own unique story. But this did kind of scratch the itch. I was just craving one so weirdly, because I literally have only read those 2 before, which were The Highwayman and The Duchess Deal. And The Highwayman I didn't really like because I didn't like the execution of a lot of like the trauma and things in that book. I thought it was so surface level. And then I've only read The Duchess Deal. So I haven't really read any since, and I only own a couple. So I don't really like crave them, but I just was, and especially because of spring, like spring just gives historical romance to me. So yeah, I did read 70 pages today, and I'll probably go back to The Measure and Jawbone. I do have reading sprints tonight in probably like an hour and a half, I think. So I will definitely do some reading then for sure. And I don't really know what I'm in the mood for, like an audiobook or a physical book, or what I want to read yet. So I will decide later on and then obviously report back to y'all. But we do need to do our rolls for today. So I'm picking out the dice from the bag because I have like a whole bunch of them. These are all ones that I'm not even using. It's like it came with like 7 dice, and I got these off Amazon for like $6. I will say the first set of dice that I had, literally got so delayed. I don't know if I told you at the beginning of this vlog. I can't even remember. But the first, I ordered like one set of dice that was from the same brand, and it literally got delayed literally like a week. It kept getting pushed back like 2 days, 2 days, 2 days, and so eventually I just like ordered this, and good thing I did because they got delayed again. So let's roll for pages first. I always like to roll for pages first. I'm gonna get out my phone so y'all can see the rolls. I have to scrunch down a little bit to support the box, but let's roll for pages. Oh, a 1. I might get back an extra life even though we only have 1 day left. So I only have to read 100 pages today, and I'm already 70 pages in, so I'm almost done. So I'll definitely finish my reading goal for today. I'm really nervous that tomorrow it's going to be a lot of pages, so I'm definitely going to do my rolls early tomorrow because I feel like tomorrow is going to be a 500-600 day because we've had literally max only 300 pages. I don't know what's going on with the die. I promise you guys, they're not weighted or anything. They're literally normal dice, I promise. And wouldn't you want weighted to be like a higher number, because normally higher numbers are better in like D&D and that kind of thing? So I don't know. Y'all let me know. I don't really know anything about weighted dice. Let's do the challenge one now. I really hope we don't get the no audiobook one, because I technically already listened to an audiobook today, so I guess I would have to do 100 pages of no audiobook. So let's see, 12. I think I know what number 12 is actually. Here's 12. I think this is one that I wanted, so I knew where it was. Yes, this is it. So, Cassidy, obviously I'm doing this for Realmathon, and I only finished 1 book so far this vlog, even though I have been reading 3. But this one is for Cassidy to pick my read for the day. So, I already finished 1 book, but I will DM her and see what she wants me to read, and I'll let her know. I'll be like, I can give you my currently reading books, like whichever books I'm currently in the middle of, and you can pick from those. I can give you books off my monthly TBR, and you can pick from those, or you can pick whatever you want at all ever. So I will message her, and then if she responds back, I will get back to y'all. If she doesn't respond back, I don't really know what to do, but hopefully she does. And she's like 2 hours behind me, I think, so it's still pretty early for her. I'm on my walking pad because I have actually, ever since doing that reading walking session for my challenge, I've been actually really liking to read and walk. So I think I'm going to do that today, and I want to show you, just so you guys know I'm not lying. Cassie texted me. She said she offered to do a video, but I was like, it's okay, like it's so last minute. You could just give me the text. And you guys can see right here, she said the book Daggermouth, which I have right here. And honestly, I guess that she would pick Daggermouth. I really should have told y'all beforehand, so that way I could seem like I wasn't just saying that. But I really was like, I think she's going to choose Daggermouth. I don't know. I just had that feeling. And I'm actually already 42 pages into this one because I started it a couple weeks ago when I was working my local election. You guys should be voting if you can. Work your local elections. It's important, please. I don't know how elections work in other countries, but do what you gotta do to, you know, be politically active as much as you can. Anyways, Daggermouth. It's a dystopian romance, enemies to lovers. I liked it so far. I was definitely liking it. But at the election, like, there was plenty of time to read, but I was like, if I read, I'm gonna fall asleep. If I yap, I'm gonna stay awake. So yeah, I was starting to fall asleep reading, so for the most of the time at the election, I was just yapping. So we're gonna be reading Daggermouth. Now, for this challenge, I really should have all 100 pages of the day be from the book Cassie chose. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I don't know if I'm gonna read 100 pages of Daggermouth tonight, because I'm on my last sprint of the night. I ended up eating 1 sprint, and then I forgot to do my discussion posts for class, so I had to do those as well. So that's what I did for my 2 sprints so far. Normally we do a couple more sprints, but I've been trying to go to sleep earlier. Plus we do hour-long sprints. We do pretty long ones. And so we are going to be having more in just a couple of days. If you guys ever want to join, the join button is down below. I do lots of sprints, movie nights, crafty calls, extra content. It's a lot of fun over there. A book club. It's really fun. Anyways, we're on sprints right now. If y'all can see, sprinty sprints. And so I'm just going to walk and read Daggermouth for the rest of the sprint, and then I'll probably get ready for bed and then read more of this in bed. I also have it on my Kobo if I want to switch to that. Obviously this doesn't have an audiobook because it was indie published, so there was no audiobook. Now it's getting picked up to be traditionally published, and I believe it's coming out in June or July. Let me double check that before I'm giving y'all falsified information, but I'm pretty sure it's June or July, because I was just double checking that it didn't have an audiobook, and that's when it said the audiobook was coming out. So let me check. Okay, yes, it says Scarlet Press is putting it out in July of this year. So that's when it should be coming. It's kind of like what people say is like a dark romantasy, but make it more like a dystopian than it is a fantasy. So I'm really excited to get further into it. Plus, if you guys don't know, this is also by a Black author. And I feel like I haven't read many like romantasies. As I said, this isn't like a traditional romantasy, but people kind of lump it into that category. And the people that I've been seeing recommend this one are more romantasy readers, which is why Cassidy, of course, recommended it to me because she really liked it. But it's by a Black author as well. And I'm really excited to dive further into it. Sorry if I'm a little out of breath. I am walking. This is pretty slow for me, but I guess yapping and walking, it takes me out, bro. It takes me out. So let me stop yapping and let me get to reading. Last night on Sprint and Afterwards, I made it to page 96 in Daggermouth, and I actually started on page, I think it was, I was finished with 41 pages, so that means that I have read, what is that? Is that like 55 pages, I think? So it wasn't the full 100 that I read from this book, but I think I still completed the challenge because I still picked up the read that Cassidy said.
Challenge complete.
And between this one, because I read 55 pages, and then in the other book, Seducing the Duke, I read 70 pages yesterday. So that is a total of 125 pages, I believe. So I definitely completed the 100.
Pages complete.
I didn't read as much yesterday as I thought, but I was honestly super busy. I've been really busy this week, but I fear today is the day where I'm going to get a high number of pages because, of course, on the last day that's going to happen. I'm hoping not to manifest that, but I guess that would be more interesting for y'all. And I'm really liking this book so far. I don't think I told y'all much about this, but this is a dystopian romance, which I haven't really read much. I mean, maybe you could say like the Hunger Games Divergent, they have a romance in it, but they're, you know, dystopian. And so this is more of like a fantasy romance. I think I was saying that yesterday, but like more of a dystopian than a fantasy, of course. So this one follows two different characters in this world. It's called Newfound Haven, and basically it's a very brutal world, and it is divided into these rings of poverty and class. And so this is really a society that's ruled by the 1%. So it's very reminiscent of our own world, but maybe just a little bit more extreme. But honestly, we're not far off from this. It's just more obvious and more just ruthless than it even is now. But you know, we're really not far off from this at all. And so we're following two characters. The first one's name is Grayson, and he is kind of seen as like the flawed heir to the presidency because he's the son of the president, and he is also the executioner, so he commits executions, like public ones. And then we're also following this woman named Shadera, and so she is not part of the elite. She is part of these slums basically, and she is an assassin, and so she kills people, specifically mostly like the elite, obviously in the society, and she actually gets tasked with killing Grayson. And so I believe it is their romance. It is like kind of enemies to lovers kind of thing. I don't even know what you would consider that. Like they're literally completely opposite sides. And we do learn a little bit about Grayson, and that even though he seems to be really ruthless and part of like this elite 1% that is brutal and controls everybody else and keeps everybody else in poverty, within what he does, he tries to help people as much as possible. The writing in this is really engaging. It's a pretty thick book, so I feel like I'm just starting in the story. Like I am, like, it has 560 pages, so I'm just literally like a sixth of the way in. I'm not very far at all, but I'm really liking it. I really like Shadera. I think that's how you say her name. I really like Shadera, and I think that she is really badass, and I really like her. And Grayson, I also think, like, I am cautious of him just because I'm like, oh, like, you are part of this, and I don't love that. But as I said, he really, within his confines and with his power that he does have, he tries to help people as much as possible. And so I am really liking this. I think that they're going to have a very interesting dynamic. They've been put into kind of a unique and precarious situation, so I'm excited to see how that's going to pan out, because I fear they're not going to be happy with each other for a while. But it is time to do the rolls for today. I don't know if I'm going to continue with this one today necessarily. I really want to finish a book, so I think either reading The Measure or Jawbone would be good, because The Measure I'm almost done, I believe. So I think it would be nice, but it honestly depends on how many pages I get, because, you know, depending on how many pages I get, I could be reading a lot today. So I'm gonna get my phone. We're gonna do page count first, because as I said, I think this is gonna be high. 3. Okay, not too bad. 300 pages. I don't know what is happening where I literally haven't gotten anything that high, but 300 pages is not bad. I would definitely probably finish at least one book today. And then let's do the challenge. 11. So we still have 11, so let me go get that. It's already like afternoon because I actually had to go somewhere this morning, so I haven't really been on social media that much today, but I did it for like a couple minutes. But this is no social media until I read half my page count. So I've been on social media, as I said, a little bit today already, but I will not go on it anymore. I will actually brick my phone. So on my brick, I take off basically Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and I think something else. I can't remember. I feel like I do one other social media because those are like the ones that I'm most likely to use at night, and I've been trying to brick my phone at night. I have it on a schedule now to brick it at night because I will scroll endlessly at night, and then also I tend to scroll a lot in the morning too, so in this way it bricks itself at night, and then in the morning I actually have to get up out of bed to unbrick my phone. So I've barely been on social media today. I've mostly just been responding to comments because I posted my first video essay, if you guys have not checked it out, and I've been getting such a good response to that. And then I went on Instagram for a second because some people were like tagging me in their stories because so many people have been reposting it, and Megan Thee Stallion posted that she made her debut on Broadway last night, so I had to check that out. And then I watched this horse TikToker. I talked about it on Sprints. I watched this horse TikToker, and one of the horses had her baby last night, and I was really worried about her because she had some surgeries and stuff like that. Yeah, for social media today, I went on TikTok for 14 minutes, Instagram for 16 minutes, and YouTube for 10 minutes because I was responding to those comments. So I'm not going to do any more until I read at least 150 pages, but that should be easy because I'm about to do some freelance work and I can listen to my audiobook. So I'm going to listen to the audiobook of The Measure while I do that work, and hopefully I can get through 150 pages pretty quickly because if more horse TikToks are posted, I need to catch up on them. So this is not a super bad challenge, especially like for 300 pages. It could be a lot worse. Like if I got 600 pages and then I had to wait till I read 300 to go on social media, that would be a lot worse. So today we're reading 300 pages, and I'm not going to go on social media anymore until I finish 150 pages of that. So I'm gonna get to work now because it's a little bit later in the day. The thing that came up earlier came up unexpected. I did not expect it to come up today, so it kind of threw off my day a little bit. So I'm trying to get back on track. It's way later. I've changed. I've had class. I've been so busy today. So unfortunately, I did not meet my challenge today because I was really dedicated to not using the social media, but like while I'm eating dinner, I always watch my horses, and so I thought I could get to have my page goal before I had class, but unfortunately I couldn't, and I eat dinner normally right before I have class. So I needed my entertainment, I needed it. And I was like, you know what, I still have 2 lives left, so as long as I hit my page goal, I'll be okay and I'll survive the video. And so it's late, but I'm gonna go get in bed right after this and hopefully read the rest of my pages. But I finished up The Measure, and so I've calculated it, and the book is 355 pages, and I read 188 pages before, so that means that I read 167 pages. So we are over halfway there now. So I didn't read 150 before I went on social media, so I just kind of got to 150 in the past hour or so. I had my bookmark in there to keep track of the pages, but I have it written down. So this book, I think I'm gonna give a 4.5 star. I think that this book was really good, and if I remember correctly, I said this earlier, that this book kind of reminds me of Stuff for the Children a lot, and I really loved that book as well, and just how it was told. It is a little bit difficult for me to follow so many characters, but their storylines are also different, and I feel like you do get attached to them, especially when they're going through such a trying time like this. And so you may not remember in like a couple years like, oh, this character specifically, because you know, like there's not like one main character in this type of book like there is in most traditional books, but you still kind of do get attached to each of these characters and their storylines. And we saw how these strings affected so many people's lives, from literally politics to the military to teachers, just like queer people, black people, young people, old people, like all different types of people, people who were just all over the spectrum. We got to see how these strings affected their lives and their loved ones. And so it was just like this really big mass kind of scale of understanding what this big societal change looks like. And it was just so fascinating to me, especially the political aspects. I think that was my favorite part of this. But most people's storylines, I feel like, connected back to something political, because I am a very politically active person. I don't know if y'all could tell, not necessarily even by choice, but because I have to be, because unfortunately my existence and a lot of the existence of people that I care about and communities that I care about is politicized, not because we want to be, but just because other people don't like us or have a problem with us or want to oppress us for some reason or another. And so I really like seeing how like these people, they called them short stringers, these people who had short strings almost became maybe did even become like an oppressed group within the society, because people were literally trying to put restrictions on them and being like, oh, you like can't run for political candidacy if you have a short string, or you have to reveal your short string to the military, and that impacts what job you can get and what you can do, so you may not be able to do what you want to do. Or like people even claiming like short string people are crazy and we need to be careful because they might hurt us, which people know that they're not gonna die, but they're like, these people are crazy and they're terrorists and we need to get control over them. And there's just so many different ways to like see that, and it was really, really interesting, and I really liked this book a lot. But I think the only reason I can't give this a full 5 stars is because I did expect it to be a thriller like when I went into this, and so I had those thriller expectations, and so I was constantly waiting for like the other shoe to drop. I was constantly waiting for a twist, and that's not the book's fault per se at all. That's not the book's fault, but I don't know where I heard that. That's just like what I thought this book was, and it doesn't have like any like thriller twist. Like it probably has some things that are like shocking or surprising, but it's not like a thriller in any means. I guess this is like a dystopian, if anything, like a literary dystopian, I would say. And so I did really enjoy it. Like I think it was such a good recommendation. I highly recommend this because it just goes to show how our society functions and what we prioritize, who we prioritize, and how a shift like this can change everything about how we function. And then it even talked about here how that's such like a Western view of what's happening, and how in some other countries like they don't even care about the box, or like they don't even have access to know like how long their string means that they're gonna live, versus like us, we had the technology for that. So even like those subtle nuggets of like what was happening other places in the world, like this author truly fleshed out this world so much. You can tell that when they were writing this, they literally thought about every single thing in the world, and we don't get all of those bits, but you can see how those bits influence everything, and that's what I love. I started writing my own book back in December. I haven't touched it in a while because it's just been a lot going on and a lot on my mind related to that as well. But I like feel like for me, like one of my main priorities before I even started the book was to flesh out the world, the setting, the characters, to a point where it's like you guys would never know this. Like I wanted to know what type of perfume they're wearing, what type of scent they wear, or what like their little quirks, their little habits are, because it may not seem significant into the plot, but it makes it feel well-rounded and like it is like true, like it is real. And I feel like that's what this author did, because to take on something that is so complex and nuanced, like a big societal change like this, there's so many different elements that you have to think about, and this author really thought of every single thing, and I feel like they thought of way more than we even got to see in this book. So I feel like it's really well done, it's really well executed. And so if you read this book and you liked it and you can handle horror a little bit, I really recommend Stuff for the Children, because I feel like it's really similar to this in certain ways, but also a completely new story. Like it's not like they're gonna feel too identical, but I think if you like one, you would like the other. So if you also like Stuff for the Children and you want to try something that's a little bit more like literary dystopian, then I would recommend picking up this one. So I don't know what I'm going to read for the rest of the night. I really should probably finish Jawbone, so then that way I can have like another book under my belt. I don't even think that would get me to the 300 pages because that book's a little bit shorter, but that book literally, like I like it in a sense. Well, I don't even know how I feel about it. I don't dislike it or like it. I just am like, I don't know what's going on. Like I just don't, I'm not conceptualizing what's happening, and I'm trying really hard to. I'm like, I've never had a horror book do that, like my brain like that. Like I've had fantasy books do that, but I feel like there are a lot of fantasy books I comprehend even better than this book. I just don't even know what's happening in this book, and it's such like a trip. And I feel like sometimes books that are trippy, like they normally work for me, so I don't know what's happening, but I'll see what I'm going to read for the rest of the night, and hopefully I can get to my 300 pages, because if I don't, then I'm going to lose, and I don't want to lose. I feel like I've been sitting here so much of this vlog, but it's honestly such a comfy little space, and I feel like it used to be so empty, but then I put like, you guys can't see the second picture, but I put these, and so I feel like it looks like better. I don't know. But last night I did hit my reading goal of 300 pages. I read 304 pages.
Pages complete.
Because I actually picked up my book club pick for the month of, what are we in? March. I don't even know anymore. Of March, which is Tradwife by Saratoga Schaefer. I don't want to get into my thoughts of this too much because I do an exclusive reading vlog for my YouTube members, and we also have a book club discussion. So I try to reserve most of my thoughts for that, and of course I talk about all my books in my wrap-ups, but I try to keep my like more in-depth vloggy thoughts for them. But I am really liking this book so far. We haven't really gotten to the horror yet, but I feel like it's building really, really good tension. This one is following a Tradwife influencer influencer who she basically really wants a baby, and she tries to, you know, mimic these trad wife influencers who have kids, because that is normally a big part of being a trad wife influencer, but she doesn't have a kid yet. And her husband is kind of like losing interest, and they're not really like getting pregnant or anything. And so she decides, they actually move to a new location, and she goes into these woods, makes a wish, and then a demonic entity shows up, and she decides to let it impregnate her. And it's very interesting so far. It's divided into her different trimesters, and this pregnancy is interesting. As I said so far, like, it's going by really fast, but we haven't gotten to too much like body horror yet, too much like pregnancy horror, like just like a little things like her throwing up blood, or like her belly is growing really big. And I know a lot of people don't really like pregnancy in books or any of that, and I can understand, especially if you have been pregnant or want to get pregnant like soon, or you are pregnant currently, that it could be triggering. And then I know just some of my friends, they just don't have interest in it, especially like if they don't want kids, like they just don't like it. For me, pregnancy is actually always been an interesting topic to me. Like, even as a kid, like I would watch like videos of mom talking about like their trimesters and their like different like hospital bags and stuff. I just found it really interesting even as a kid. So I really like those elements in my horror and thriller books, especially all my books, but horror and thriller I feel like adds a special pizzazz to it. And so I'm really excited to like get into like the actual horror and meat of this story, because it is really good so far and it's building a lot of tension. But I read to page 137. I think I'm on chapter 15, but I stopped like right here because the beginning of chapter 15 was not 300 pages yet. So I did hit my 300 page goal, but as I said, I did not hit my challenge goal. So we lost another life. We're down to only one, but I did survive this vlog. We made it through the whole week. I wouldn't say unscathed, but we did make it through the whole week. And this was just like a one-time type of video for me. But if you guys would like to see another video like this, I would love to do it. Maybe I could even do kind of like, I don't know if you guys would want another dice one, but like I could also maybe do like different, like this kind of concept, but make it with like different things. Pick the amount of time in the challenge. Like I could do a wheel, a generator, like all those different types of things. So let me know if you guys would like to see that. Of course, all the information for Realmathon is going to be linked down below. There still should be a couple days left in March by the time I'm posting this. So if you want to join, you can backlog all your books that you read so far in March and get points for your team. It is so much fun. Make sure you guys follow Cassidy and all the other co-hosts, especially Mel, who hosted Paladins with me. And I'm just so happy that I was able to co-host this readathon. And I may or may not be co-hosting another readathon soon. So stay tuned for that. I'm really excited. But that's all that I have for this video. If you guys made it to the end of this video, leave the dice emoji down below. I had to go check on my phone because I didn't know if there was a dice emoji or not. So if you guys made it to the end, leave the dice emoji to let me know that you watched all the way through, and I will see y'all in my next one. Bye, everybody.
I'm writing rhymes in the kitchen, soaking in moments we live in, yeah. You got the nerve to be on me, taking your life, but I